All right. What is up, guys? So, I already made coffee. I just finished eating a breakfast sandwich, and we're still doing the pot. Haven't had the opportunity to really fix the Keurig yet. Today, we have a little combination. So, remember how I didn't really like that cinnamon Dunkin' Donuts one, the Cinnamania is what it was called. I found it's a lot better if I take the like cheap Clover Valley classic roast I have and mix that with the Dunkin' Donuts cinnamon one. It was like overpoweringly cinnamon. I don't know if you've ever had too much cinnamon. Like, it's one of those things you can't go too heavy handed with it because at some point it stops tasting like cinnamon and just starts tasting like bark. And that's kind of what the coffee tasted like, you know? So I diluted it by using regular coffee. Also, the other thing I've done is normally I don't really buy sweet creamers anymore. I just get the half and half. But I was talking the other day about how International Delight is my favorite of all the sweet creamers. Well, I went and I got the cinnamon roll creamer. And I do a little bit of this, a little bit of half and half. So, with the extra sweetness of this and diluting the cinnamon roll coffee with the other coffee, it actually ends up being pretty good, you know? Now, that being said, the best cinnamon roll coffee I've ever had is still the Cinnabon cinnamon roll. That is so good. I need to find that again. But let me mix this up real quick. So, I have finally finished Baldur's Gate 3. Uh, it's kind of crazy how much of a weight off of my shoulder it is, you know? So, one of those things that I've been wanting to do for years. I was just a combination of either too down in the dumps or too focused on trying to rebuild my financial architecture. And I didn't realize how much it was bothering me that I hadn't beaten the game, you know? Mmm. Oh, yeah, that's good. It just actually tastes like a legit cinnamon roll. Mmm. Okay. It's raining pretty hard today. And y'all missed the big downpour. I like sitting out here when it's raining because I like the sound of the roof. It's not like I don't know what it is. I guess it's kind of metal, but it's not like the sheet metal. Back when I used to live in Pittsburgh, I'd walk around the alleyways and like smoke a joint. It was a lot of those videos, although a lot of them got taken down because like community notes of like, you can drink all the alcohol you want, which destroys people's lives, but like puff a little bit of THC to get your mind right. Oh my God, it's um, but yeah, one of my favorite things is there's this person that had one of those sheet metal car covers, and that sometimes I would just go if it was raining a little bit and stand under that, partially so like I didn't get soaked because sometimes it would dump on me when I was out for my walk, but also I just love the sound of that. I kind of wish it was still coming down more, so you guys could get some of the raindrop sounds, but that's not happening right now. You can probably hear a little bit of it. But yeah, so we're definitely going to be back streaming next week, but not this week. And the reason why is because right now I am finishing, or at least doing part of the painting in the basement. And the section of the basement floor I'm painting right now is right at the base of the stairs and also in front of the studio room. And unfortunately, I haven't learned how to levitate like a mind flare yet. So once I've painted that, I need to, it's like I'm done in the basement for the day. Uh, and I definitely can't just trap myself in the studio because then I like can't get to the bathroom or my bed. So right now, that section of the floor I'm painting, I'm just stuck up here for the rest of the day, which is fine because there's all kinds of chores I need to do up here. I need to mop the floor in the kitchen really bad. Maybe that's what we do today after I paint. But the plan is right now to be back to streaming next week. I'm not sure what day that's going to be because there's a few back end things I'd like to work on, but definitely expect me back streaming next week. Yeah, I feel like that's really all I have to say right now. There's so many different things I could rant about, but I've been doing my best to keep these more succinct and focused. And the big thing right now is the coffee's actually pretty good when you mix it with other coffees, which means it's not great because this is one of my things with video games, right? There's a lot of video games out there that you like play it and you're like, that's not very fun. And then you like talk to someone who loves it and it's their favorite game ever. And you're like, man, but oh, did you buy the DLC? Did you install these 50 different mods? And it's like, no. Oh, well then of course you wouldn't think it's a good game. Well, here, I have a little wake up call for you. If you need to buy like 10 different DLC or install like 20 different fucking mods or add ons to make the game fun or even playable, it's not a good game, okay? Now, I will give some leeway in certain situations. Like I feel like good examples are like of like a middle road thing are certain MMOs like World of Warcraft and Elder Scrolls Online. Both of those games are absolutely fun and playable without add-ons. But add-ons bring a lot of quality of life improvements, especially if you're doing hardcore WoW, hardcore WoW, it's really nice to have things like Rare Scanner or because then if you're by something that's just gonna one shot you. There's this one thing, it's like a big werewolf. It's called like Son of Arugal or something that kills so many people, but I never had a problem with him because I had the add-on installed that would let me know whenever he was wandering towards me, right? So that's more just a quality of life thing, especially when you're doing like some random sub version of it. But what I'm talking about is I'll also give some leeway to games like Minecraft, right? When I was younger, I used to be like, oh yeah, man, if you gotta install all this shit or buy all this DLC or whatever to play Minecraft or Roblox, then it's obviously a terrible game. But I've opened my mind to that a little bit more because it's a sandbox game, right? So I'd say sandbox games are kind of the other thing where it's like, oh, you're supposed to customize the experience a little bit. And the thing that really opened me up to that was Space Engineers, which is basically Minecraft in space with better graphics. And they're coming out with two right now. I would love to get involved with that, but I don't. I have almost all of the DLC for Space Engineers, and mostly it does add a couple blocks that have some functionality, but for the most part, it's really just cosmetics and stuff. But I feel like it's totally worth it because it just improves the experience, and it's also a way to support the developers without a live service fee, without subscription costs and all that stuff. So that's one of the few games that I bought like the soundtrack and whatever it is, because it was like $5, and I was like, you know what, these guys made a great game, and it's one of my favorite games of all time. I've built so many like Star Wars ships in that game and stuff, or just spent countless hours in the survival mode. So I'd say sandbox games are the other area in which that's okay. And the problem I really have is with games like Stellaris. That is one of the only games I have ever attempted to refund on Steam. And unfortunately, I couldn't, because the thing with those 4X strategy games is like one gaming session is going to pretty much guaranteed put you over the minimum playtime limit, right? I think it's like 2 hours. Maybe they changed it. But the first time I played Stellaris, I got over the refund time limit, so I wasn't able to refund it. And it just feels like the most empty, pointless, worthless 4X strategy game I have ever played. Every single one I have ever played besides Stellaris was better. And I can't understand why people love that game so much, because you know what? Every civilization, including Beyond Earth, which wasn't really super well received, way better than Stellaris. Age of Mythology, way better than Stellaris. We want to get into kind of more space-based games. BattleTech is kind of its own thing, more like XCOM than an actual 4X game. But BattleTech, XCOM, as far as strategy games go, way better than Stellaris. And you go like full on galaxy conquering strategy games, you have Sins of a Solar Empire, you have Master of Orion, you have Endless Space. Every single one of those games is way better than Stellaris. And then I told my friends that I didn't like it, and they were like, "Oh, well, you just need to spend $100 extra and buy all this DLC." That is a bad game. If they are releasing a shitty game and expect you to spend an extra $100 to make the game good, that is just, you're being played. All right. Okay, that was my rant for the day. I felt like the video was too short before I went on that little rant, and it's long enough now. So I literally doubled the time. I looked down and it was 7 minutes. So I was like, 7 minutes, that's not enough time. 14 minutes though, that's good. So yeah, that's the update. Coffee's better when you mix it with other stuff. But like the video games, it's not good coffee if it needs other stuff to make it better. Uh, Working on the floor right now, and it's between me and the studio at the moment. So I'll have the floor done probably tomorrow. Depends on how many coats it takes. And we'll be back to streaming at least that section between me and the studio. There's still the other half of the basement I need to do, but I need to move all the stuff out of that half of the basement. And I also probably need to let the paint cure for a while before I move the stuff from the unpainted area onto the painted area. So that's like maybe in a 2 week type thing. But there is a small section that I painted first because the washer and dryer were going there, and that's cured at this point, so I can move some things there. But basically, the point is, I don't know when the floor is going to be done because I need to wait on physics. And but the part I need done to be streaming again, that's going to be done by the end of the week. And even though it won't be cured, as long as I'm careful when I walk on it and don't drag anything across it or like set anything heavy on it that's going to stick to the floor, it'll be fine. Then I'll be able to go back to streaming next week. Again, I don't know if I'm ever going to stream full time again the way I used to. My big focus now is I want to go more into music. And the first time I tried to get back into music again, I would do a lot of music practice streams, but then that caused a whole bunch of issues where I was constantly getting copyright claimed for practicing those other songs. And it's all fair use, but the YouTube and Twitch copyright claim systems are fucking backwards as hell, where it's a guilty until proven innocent type thing, and you have to like dispute it. But then most of these evil corporate companies that control the rights to those songs just kind of fuck you over, and then you end up with this community strike on your channel that lasts for a month because they just ignore your counterclaim and you don't really have any recourse. So I'm probably not really going to be streaming music. I will upload covers and satire songs eventually, and then those can just sit, and maybe I'll only do one a month depending on how evil the music industry is, but we'll see. And yeah, so that's the plan for the near future. I'm going to do some chores and finish work on some renovations in the house a little bit this week. And I should be back to streaming a couple days a week next week, but don't expect me to be full time streaming in the near future, simply because I don't really have the time to do that right now. I'd love to get back to doing that, but I need people. I need a squad, you know? I don't have. This is a one man show right now, and I'm doing 5 different jobs at once. So until I reach a level where I can afford to hire other people to help me, it's going to be a little bit more minimal than it's been in the past. But at the very least, I want to bring back the Sunday streams where we just spend all day reading philosophy or talking about mental health or whatever it happens to be that day. And the other thing I'm going to do is bring back the dinner streams, you know, where after I'm doing whatever I was doing for the day, I just sit down, commentate on some YouTube while I stuff my face with pizza or hot dogs, and then call it a night. So expect that kind of stuff next week. I need to do a little more work on music like ambient music for the Sunday streams. I don't know if that will be back next Sunday. I'm not talking about this upcoming Sunday. Like this upcoming Sunday, not happening. But maybe the Sunday after. My goal is the third Sunday, you know? It should really be back by then. And if it's not, that means I messed up. But I hope all of you are doing well. I'm doing a lot better than I have been for the past 2 months. And I just want to say, I love all of you and God bless. Cheers.